Good morning. It's the pollinator. And yes, it's about 12:30, almost 12:30 in the morning on June the 14th. And this one is going to be an exciting topic. Exciting, controversial, you name it. It's all going to be in here. And I'm going to try to recall things off the top of my head. So please excuse me if the video gets too long, but I wanted to fit it all in. So the title of this video is called Oppression. And why am I picking that topic? This is a topic, and I hope, and I purposefully did not make this a live feed on Facebook. And let me tell you why. About a year ago, after another black man, a group of black people got killed in the United States, there was a very funny video that this black woman put out where she had a bucket of paint, white paint, and she was painting herself and talking about white lives matter, white lives matter, and I ain't gonna get shot. I ain't gonna get shot because she painted herself completely from head to toe, arms, everything. So that video was circulating around Facebook, and I got a hold of it and put it on my timeline, and me and another brother were laughing and joking in that video about going to Lowe's and getting some white paint and painting ourselves up like the woman in the video. And then we continued on to talk about how we would do this and show up at a KKK rally somewhere with them thinking that we're white, and start some crap. But, we were joking and we were having a great time doing so. And I'm sure I made the post public, which means on Facebook, anybody in the world can see it. So, we had our little fun and ended the conversation laughing. I mean, I was literally sitting here laughing so hard I was crying because, of course, what we were saying, we weren't going to subject ourselves to. We were not going to actually, go to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, get a bucket of white paint and show up at a KKK rally. The two of us, right? That's one sure way to get killed, because there's no way we can cover every single inch of our skin so that we wouldn't be, so that nobody could tell we were black and hide out in a rally somewhere. But anyway, it was really stupid. Here's what happened. That post disappeared. I mean, normally on Facebook, if somebody reports your posts, Facebook gives you a warning and tells you they want you to take it down. In this case, there was no warning. There was no anything. It just disappeared. And of course, we couldn't recreate that conversation, which was the aim of whoever reported it and got it deleted, which served the purpose of the Facebook police. But I was furious. So I made another post, put that video back on my timeline, and, dared Facebook to delete that one. But again, they didn't mess with that one because the conversation that me and this guy were having disappeared. And that was the aim of them deleting that post, because there was no way we could do that number again in the video that I posted up later when I figured out that it had been deleted. So let's get back to this word. Let's get back to this word oppression, okay? Right now in the United States, there is an all-out war going on here, and it's a war with pen and paper going on against the LGBTQIA people of color, and the military, in specific, transgender people. And of course, you know what? They're not going to stop there. Just like I said last year that the LGBTQIA thinking they could throw the T under the bus was going to end up not only throwing us under the bus, but throwing them under the bus too, because the government is now coming after all of us, okay? The Kentucky governor just signed an anti-LGBTQ, anti-discrimination bill. And, you know, North Carolina started its crap with transgender. Texas started its crap with transgender. For all we know, because of the way the media operates, they are only telling us part of the story. And one of the ways, something that particularly white LGBTQ people don't realize is that there's so many young people, angry young people running around fighting each other that don't know history at all, that they don't realize that the way Black Americans have been oppressed in this country has something that's been going on for over 4 centuries, which is to get us so angry, so cornered, so economically depressed, oppressed, whatever you want to call it, to get us so desperate that we fight each other, okay? Fight, kill, rob, whatever you name it, it is going on in Black communities all over the nation and has been going on for centuries, okay? So what the LGBTQ does not realize, NIA, is that one quick way to keep us oppressed and to keep our eye off of what the elites are doing is to get us to fight each other. Okay? You know, while we're bashing each other all over social media, while we're trying to throw each other under the bus, while some feminist organizations, gay organizations get funding from the government by throwing one of the other of us under the bus, while all of this is going on, okay, while all of this is going on, while we are fighting within the community, you know, the T wants to separate out because they're pissed off that the LGBTQIA has, you know, done their number on us in the past and yeah, literally did throw us under the bus. While that is all happening, all the Goonies up in Washington have given the complete pass-through for all of these states, one at a time, to start putting the pen to the paper and signing into law anti-LGBTQ legislation. Okay? It started out with them targeting the T, the transgender. Started out that way, didn't it? It's what it kind of looked like. And while that was happening, the LGBTQ, I'm just going to leave IA out of it right now because you know, that part of our community is not very big. But you know, they had to know that they thought they were immune from what was going on because, you know, transgenders means one thing and LGBTQ means another. So they thought they were immune to what is getting ready to happen, which is to throw everybody under the bus. Everybody. everywhere I look, every time I stop watching my news feed on Facebook for at least 3 months because I was so tired of all of the infighting that was going on that I just had to stop watching that shit. And lo and behold, I start watching it again, and yeah, everybody is fighting. Everybody is talking shit within the transgender community, let alone within the LGBTQIA community. And then so you got us fighting each other. You've got them fighting us and us fighting them. Then you've got these Confederate idiots running around killing black people. Then they're going to take off after other races. You better believe it. And then you've got within, let's just talk about the black community because I'm part of that community, that you got a whole bunch of right-wing religious black leaders and people and men and women who are thumbing up their nose at other black LGBTQIA people. So, okay. So how do you oppress a bunch of people? Get them all to be starting fires with each other. Boom, start a fire there. Boom, start a fire there. Boom, everybody's fighting. Everybody's disagreeing. Everybody is totally not on the same page. You get a whole bunch of people. I brought up that I went to a meeting here in the metro, and it was a black meeting. After that meeting, I came back immediately, came back here and wrote an email to them asking if they were inclusive of the LGBTQIA. And I did that all on purpose. And not because I wanted that organization to create an agenda around us, but just so that I personally could feel safe going to those, going to the meetings of that organization without getting harmed. I wanted to know what the overall attitude was of that organization, which really looked like a Black Lives Matter movement meeting. It was not a Black Lives Matter movement, but the attitudes were the same. Why? Because we've got a whole bunch of black people in this country who have been, and I'm going to say it, I just got to say it, are brainwashed by Christianity. Brainwashed about the wrong part of Christianity, okay? The part where they think it's okay to judge. And if anybody knows anything about the Bible, and a lot of people do, because there's countries, and the United States isn't the only ones who, believe in Christianity. But the problem with it is that there's too many of them standing in judgment. When Jesus Christ said, "Judge not, he who has not sinned, cast the first stone." Now, on the surface, it would seem that he said, on the surface, it could be interpreted as, what, if you've never made a mistake before, go ahead and judge other people. So I'm going to take it out of the sin category. I'm going to put it in the arena of being human. He who has never made a mistake in their life, he who has never, he who is different from the norm, he who gets bullied in school because of how they are, who they hang with, who they don't hang with, who their parents are, who their parents aren't, how much money they make, what kind of jobs they have. You've got all this crap going on, within the black community, with people are fighting here too. I mean, all you got to do is look on YouTube, and you'll see a whole bunch of people on there who are celebrities on there who are fighting with each other. Let alone the average ordinary American, black American, who are looking at these celebrities as role models and getting all caught up in drama. And that being caught up in that means we don't have our eye on the ball. We don't have our eye on what's really happening in the United States of America and around the world. Okay, all this crap going on while the elite are passing things so fast, and they know we'll never stop fighting long enough to catch up to what they're doing and fight them instead. How does a whole crap load of oppressed and oppressed people and people who are being discriminated against, how are we going to ever get it together when we don't have it together in order to quickly, in an intelligent manner, not in a violent manner, fight back? Think about it. It's very clever of the right wing Republicans to have everybody so confused and so pointing fingers at each other that they're not pointing fingers at the government and saying, oh no, we're not going to let this happen. We all need to unite. All peoples, all marginalized people in this country need to stop being idiots, stop being judgmental, stop thinking that because somebody, your neighbor, is different, that you cannot love them, that you cannot put down your judgments long enough to do the right thing by Americans, for your family, for your friends, for your loved ones. There's a lot of heterosexual cisgender people who have LGBTQIA people in their family. They are family members. And it doesn't help that a lot of them have turned away from those particular family members, perhaps put them in the street, kick them out of the house. We've got teenagers that are homeless. We've got, adults that are homeless. We've got a lot of military veterans that are homeless. While we're doing all this stuff, while they're doing it to us, we're also doing it to ourselves. And so they're pushing the ceiling down. See? They push the ceiling down while their ceiling is going like this. And before you know it, good God almighty, I don't know what's going to happen in this country. But if people don't start getting their heads out of their asses and start thinking with a brain, not with all their prejudices, not with all of their discriminatory behaviors and thoughts and misunderstandings of people who are different, if that does not stop, we're going to lose everything. There's no doubt in my mind that the elite, the way to stay elite is to get rid of everybody else. No competition. The Constitution of the United States of America is being violated by the government. And it's being violated by the states now. Now it's going state by state by state where they're enacting laws that are also unconstitutional. But who's going to stop them? Who? A small minority of people who, and then a bigger minority of people who are looking down on the smaller minority of people? That's not going to stop them. And then everybody's going to be crying when, they keep switching who they're targeting in this country. Okay? They started out against transgenders. Then they took off after transgenders in the military. Then black people been being killed for centuries. Then now they're going after trying to shove all LGBTQIA back in the closet. And it don't matter that they're not military or civilian. Their intent is to shove everybody back in the closet, or, open season on LGBTQIA. They don't see us any differently. We can sit around and think we're different, that we belong in different communities, but not to the heterosexual, cisgender, right-wing part of this society that is oppressing everybody. Okay? To them, we all look, they don't, truth be known, if something truly awful happens in this country and they start shooting, they're not going to care whether you're lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, or asexual. They're not going to care, okay? They're going after us all. That is why I don't care what people are doing on social media right now, but you're buying into a smoke and mirrors that is going to wind up with us having no rights. And the conditions that existed, after the 1960s, the whole country is being swept back to that period of time, even worse. Because now there is also open season on black people. I was sitting on Facebook one day, minding my own business, running my group, doing the things that I do, talking to people worldwide, and a video came across my inbox from somebody. The video was of two white guys with a Confederate flag hanging a black woman. This was live. It was a live feed. Nobody knows where that happened. Nobody knows who those guys were. Nobody knows who the black woman was. Okay, I was disgusted. I was disturbed. So that video, I got that video from 4 other people in my inbox. So the last person that sent it to me, I said, you know what? Don't send me that crap. Don't send that to me anymore. I said, my question is, they were circulating it through people's inboxes before Facebook saw it and took it down. But here's the thing. What could any of us do about that video? The police didn't care. Facebook didn't care. Nobody cared that happened. And, the media is only reporting to Americans what the media wants the Americans to know. North Carolina, Texas, Kentucky, all these states one by one. And how much you make a bet? There's other states getting ready to do the same damn thing, and the media is not going to report about it until after it happens. How much you bet? See, smoke and mirrors, okay? Get everybody hysterical about what's going on over here while all sorts of other stuff is going on over there, and the media is part of the problem. They're not reporting what's happening before it happens. They're only feeding it piecemeal. See? So, oppression. Okay? They're not... They went from oppressing black people to oppressing other races, to oppressing LGBTQIA, to oppressing all of those in the military. The goal is just to oppress, and the middle class has disappeared. Get the ceiling down here. Keep pushing that down while raising the ceiling on the rich. And I'm not talking about millionaires. I'm talking about the billionaires. Okay? I see what's happening. Wake up call. People, open your eyes. Open your mind. What is going on in this nation is horrifying because it's so multi-layered. And, while all the, this is Pride Month and, LGBTQIA Pride Month, I don't feel very proud. You know why? We're all fighting. The LGBTQIA doesn't understand the T. The T used to be part of the LGBTQIA, but because there are so many people who don't know the history, they're being lulled by sensationalism, by drama, by things that are not really serving the community. The things that are going on are self-serving. They're not inclusive. Okay? I would very much like a big LGBTQ IA organization to get in bed with Black Lives Matter or any of them kind of organizations, so that we can promote each other, so that we can lift each other up. Mara Kinsling of the National Center for Transgender Equality in Washington, D.C., I saw her last year at a talk she gave where she shocked everybody in the room. She said, I look around this crowd and is probably, she didn't say the percentages, but she said, there's mostly white people in this meeting. And I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you uncomfortable. But I'm going to tell you this right now, that if we, as the LGBTQIA, doesn't get behind the Black Lives Matter movement, not the movement itself, but doesn't become aware of the struggles and the issues around Black lives, if they didn't start doing that, then we're barking up the wrong tree. That Black people need to be uplifted first, then LGBTQIA. She says something so profound, and although I did not completely understand its implications, after she said that, and I looked around the room, I was sitting in the back, I'm looking around the room and seeing everybody start squirming and moving, and they're like, oh my God, I don't believe she just said that. But she did say that, and I almost jumped on my chair to clap and stomp and whoop her up for seeing something that very few white LGBTQIA people see, let alone transgender. I was just blown away that she had the mental awareness that is the order in which things should be done. It's to uplift Black people. White people uplift Black people. Then Black people, white people, cisgender, transgender, everybody can lift up marginalized people. I think, you know what, I'm just paraphrasing. I think that's what she meant. But I'm here to tell you that that's what needs to frickin' happen before we all get wiped out. They're not discriminating in Washington. They're not discriminating. And what I mean by discriminating is they don't care. Who they step on? Okay, they're gonna stomp on one group of people, and then they're gonna turn around and stomp on another group of people, and then they're gonna turn around and stomp on another group of people until the only ones left here, we're gonna all be confused and fighting each other, and there's gonna be a bunch of revelations in the Bible. Okay, there's gonna be just a lot of crap going on here if the momentum doesn't shift, and somehow we stop this onslaught of discrimination going on and being passed through by Trump and his administration, and opening the door to all of the individual states in the United States to do the same. You know, LGBTQIA people are all upset because he didn't acknowledge Pride Month. But you know what? He never intended to. Did you really think he would? How many of you were that freaking clueless when you went to the voting polls in November of last year and thought he wasn't going to step on you? So I also made this thing about what's going on in Kentucky. I made that a post on Facebook, and a lady and I got in a conversation where she's in another country. I won't say where she is, but she's in another country, and she sees what's going on here, and she's very perturbed by it because, you know, acknowledge it or not, a lot of other countries look at the United States as their barometer for what they can do and get away with. See, so the more bullshit they get away with here, the more it's spreading worldwide. Okay, it's spreading. Can you see it? Can you see what I'm seeing? That what is going on here will not stop here. And what is going on in Washington and what is going on state by state, they're not going to stop until they're stopped. And it can't be with violence and demonstrations and protests. Come on, that shit's played out. That's not what is going to get people to start hurrying up and voting. A bunch of clowns and idiots and people who just want to keep their salary in positions locally. Because whatever is going on in your local legislation is what spreads to the federal legislation. So, and then you got the federal legislation also doing things the other direction. But it starts at the state level. And if people are so busy being childish and immature and spending all of their time doing that instead of getting educated, and, you know, we may not all be political, but we all live within a political system called democracy. And this ain't looking democratic to me. Is it looking that way to you? How many people under the age of 30 know what democracy really is? How many of you are educated on the subject? How many of you think that if you don't vote, it makes you unpolitical, or, you know, you're not participating in the politics of the United States of America? Well, oh, yes, you are. You may not vote, but you're part of the system. Your life is totally involved in it. What affects your life starts politically before it hits businesses, and then gets passed down through your job, through your employers, through your church, through your... The government has no business making the separation between church and state disappear. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. The they're smart people, and we better get smart too. If you don't know, go out on the internet and read about it. Instead of talking about who is or isn't transgender, who is or isn't a lesbian, who is or who isn't gay, who is or isn't bisexual, who is or isn't queer, who is or isn't intersex, who is or isn't asexual. Who cares? Your eye is off the ball. And before you know it, your rights are going to get stripped away, regardless of where you're wasting your time and where you're spending your time and how you're spending your time on earth. While you're spinning your wheels thinking you're actually doing something, you ain't doing nothing. Unless you're out there trying to challenge the establishment. If you're not challenging the establishment is going to challenge you personally. It's going to hit you, and it's going to hit you from behind, and it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. Look at the mess we're going to have to clean up if we even survive 4 years from now. Well, 3 years and some months now since that idiot got in office. Look at the mess we're going to have to try to reenact and reinstate, and it's just going to be, it's going to be crazy, because we're not going to be able to do it unless we get rid of a whole bunch of people at the congressional level, the Senate level, and then the federal level. Because the people in the Senate and the Congress, they're in office a heck of a lot longer than the people up in, the president. Okay? Their goal is to be reelected. They will say anything. They will lie. They will deceive. They will do anything to keep their job, their multi-six-figure income. They'll promise you anything. So we have to be able to read between the lines and see what each of these candidates and what each of these people are really about. We have to go back and look at their history, the history of what they voted for in this country, to be able to tell who we don't want in there anymore. But again, we got a problem, because state by state, it's happening at different times during campaign season. So a whole bunch of people are going to have to get smart real fast, and it's probably not going to happen that way. Not going to do it. They're going to continue to participate in the drama that is going on worldwide, because social media has got a whole bunch of people by the nuts. Well, excuse me for saying nuts, but social media has people not being very bright and being caught up in the same kind of drama that is going on, at the celebrity level. And, it's all smoke and mirrors. And meanwhile, they're signing off legislation that's going to make a whole bunch of people unhappy. More than unhappy. Probably devastated. Me being one of them. And I felt that devastation when I saw the chump get elected. I went, oh my God. I saw the writing on the wall. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but I saw the writing on the wall. And those who didn't, they're blind, ignorant, dumb, you name it. Just not paying attention to what it could really mean. Not that the other candidate was going to be much better, but I bet it would have been better than what's getting ready to come down in 2017 and 2018 and probably 2019. I don't trust any politician, but I really don't trust what I'm seeing right now. And who does? Who trusts it? Y'all ignorant right-wingers who the elite are using to stir up shit in this country? Y'all really think you're not expendable? And that once they're finished using you, that they won't come after you? You know, some of y'all are getting ready to lose your health insurance. Millions of Americans. Like I said, they ain't discriminating. Just whoever had access to health care before isn't going to have it. So what are you? Are you white? Are you black? Are you Indian? Are you Hispanic? Are you Asian? Are you LGBTQ? It doesn't discriminate who's going to be without health care. And meanwhile, the ceiling just got shoved down. And those that can afford health insurance, they don't care. They could care less that you're getting ready to lose yours. So you look at that, and then you think, ooh, there's going to be 22 million people really pissed off and angry. I wonder if they're going to start fighting each other too. Fighting each other. So that the elite can keep on doing what they're doing. Because they know if, we keep fighting and killing each other, they can still keep doing what they're doing. With immunity. Nobody's being held accountable for humanity in Washington, D.C. because it's being run by a really spoiled brat of a president. And, this video is not going to be popular with a bunch of you ignorant motherfuckers, but I don't care. Like I said on Facebook, my purpose has nothing to do with being popular. I lived a privileged life growing up, as privileged as it could be as a black man. But, even billionaires, millionaires that are black still aren't equal to their white counterparts with having the same amount of money. Okay, there is no equality in America. Get over it. It's not the truth. And anybody saying that, we're equal, whatever, it's just another smoke and mirror thing. Because we're not. I don't care how much money you have. If you're black and you got all that money, somebody can just strip it from you if you do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing or, whatever. Another thought. All the black people that were mad at Obama, here's my thought about Obama. He had to take the high road, people. He had to take the high road. If he had taken any other road, you think they would have let that man live and continue to be president for 8 years? No way. He'd have been another Martin Luther King statistic, another Malcolm X statistic, another Kennedy statistic. That's what they fucking do when they get scared that a big old piece of the American pie is going to be stripped from them as they start assassinating people. And nobody knows where it's coming from. They assassinate people who don't think like them, don't look like them, don't talk like them, don't act like them, don't toe the line like them, like they want them to. Okay? That's what would have happened to Obama if Obama had paid a whole bunch of attention to the black community. He had to do what he did to stay alive. To keep from being assassinated. And anybody who thinks otherwise, well, I'm sorry. I don't agree with you. I think he did amazing things given the box they put him in. The box they put him in. It wasn't his box. Okay, he could only, his hands were tied. He could only do so much for us. And now look at what's going on. Everything he did is getting ready to get undone. So again, people are wasting their time discussing being mad at what went on in the past versus what's going on now. Now is what we need to be mad about. Not where it started, not who done it, blah, 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 blah. We need to get good and intelligently mad about what the fuck is going on right now. Now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. I live my life in now. And when I look around, I'm not even religious, but I see revelations. It's what I see. You know, I take the good parts of all spiritualities and religions, and that is what my beliefs are made of. I'm probably the least judgmental person many people know. And at the same time, I'm fiery. I'm very, you know what, you mess with me and get the hell out of my face. I mean, I'm not judgmental, but I don't like people disrespecting me and a lot of other things that have, you know, happen in your lifetime. I'm not down for that kind of thing. And I will throw somebody out of my life in a heartbeat who is trying to steal my peace of mind. That's how precious it is to me. How many of you out there in America right now have a peace of mind? How many of you are looking for it? If you even have this much of it, don't you want to keep it? And if you do want to keep it, how are you going to keep it? With a whole bunch of other people in control and in power who are saying, well, whatever peace of mind you had, we getting ready to take it from you. Oppression. Look it up. It is different than discrimination. Okay, me as a black man, I experience both. You white, LGBTQ, IA people, you don't know oppression. You know discrimination. In the United States. There are things going on in other countries where it doesn't matter what you are, you're being oppressed. But there is a difference. All you got to do is look in the dictionary, and you'll see what the difference is, and articles on the internet about the subject. You know, there's even people run around, white people run around talking about reverse discrimination. No, reverse racism. There is no such a freaking thing as reverse racism. Racism came from y'all, not us. We just don't like it. So in the process of not liking your racism, we don't like you. But it's all within the framework and the process of you guys being racist. You need to go sit down somewhere. Talking about reverse racism. Doesn't exist. But see, you're too ignorant to educate yourself and find out that there's no such thing. I can't remember where it was just 2 days ago or yesterday that I saw this on YouTube. You know, a bunch of people jumped in there because of a man that I follow him, his YouTube videos. And he's very straightforward about what he thinks about a great many things. And there's people that jump in there and yell, foul! Oh yeah, let's put a spotlight on racism and oppression and discrimination. And then you got a whole bunch of these people who are doing it that will turn around and say, no, you're doing it in reverse. Give me a fucking break. I'm like a Neanderthal thinking is that. The only people who can do it are the people that are in power. We're not in power. So how can we reverse? We can't reverse that. Or practice that in reverse. We ain't in power of shit. Except our own little, worlds. But anyway, you know what? I've talked about a lot of things. And all I want to say is it's time for people to get their head out of their butt. And really focus on what's going on. while you're all fighting each other, while we fight each other. And everything I speak from love. And it's just my version of pollinating humanity. Because humanity is in trouble. And it's starting right here in the United States first. And if it happens here and we become vulnerable to other countries, y'all don't see the writing on the wall. Y'all ain't trying to... Oh, I heard this pastor say, y'all ain't trying to hear me. Y'all ain't trying to hear this. You're really not paying attention to the bigger picture. And stop being so small. And stop living so small. And stop being so small-minded. Think for yourself. Educate yourself. Get yourself out there. And get a better understanding of how this political system works in this country. And set out to just... Damn, you don't have to come out as anything. Just make a difference. You don't have to... You can be as in the closet as you want to be. But your difference matters. Even if it's very small. It's something. And something times millions, it could be very, very big, couldn't it? Anyway, love you. Pollinator out.